Hello and welcome back to Sliding Doors. Today I want to share with you some tips about reporting misconduct in academia and stay safe. It is possible that if you're here, you're having some problems with your supervisor or boss and you don't feel like reporting your issue to the university staff. Indeed, this is not an uncommon feeling in academia. For example, in a study titled On the Willingness to Report and the Consequences of Reporting Research Misconduct, the Role of Power Relations, the authors observed that only about 33% of students and junior researchers aged 20 to 40 years old reported misconduct after witnessing it. The authors reported that a prominent reason for junior researchers not to report was their fear of negative consequences. Similarly, Wellcome noted that nearly 2/3 of researchers have witnessed bullying or harassment. Just 1 in 3 feel comfortable speaking up, with many doubting appropriate action will be taken. I will share some tips today if you find yourself in this situation, since I have experienced this kind of issues and reported alleged academic misconduct numerous times. This led a funding agency to revoke the legitimate powers of my XPI to issue directions to me and granted me research freedom. I will first present some general tips and then I will discuss 5 case scenarios that are harassment, discrimination, bullying, idea theft, and authorship issues. I hope to make a more in-depth video on how to face these critical issues in the future, inviting some friends or professionals to discuss it. So if you are interested, please comment below and let me know what topics you would like to know more about. Let's start with the first tip. Tip number 1. Understand your situation. Chances are that you may be in denial or ashamed for what happened to you. So if this is happening to you right now, it's important to forgive yourself for having missed obvious clues or for letting yourself be drawn into this situation. Remember that shit can happen to everybody and you should not be ashamed for that. The first thing is to understand whether the problem you are facing is something you can escape or not. Different problems require different strategies. For example, if the problem can be solved by just changing your supervisor, do it. But what if you can't run? That's when things get complicated. In that case, the first thing you have to understand is what kind of person you are dealing with. I found that there are generally 3 types of bosses in academia. The micromanager, who suffocates you. This boss is mostly managing your life and decisions and your free time, as well as what you can and cannot do according to their expectations. In this case, you'll need to apply strategies to mostly assert your space. The ghost, who tends to disappear. This boss is characterized by not really caring and may become particularly troublesome to PhDs and students who may feel completely unsupported sometimes. In this case, you'll probably have to work on communication strategies. If you don't know where to start, I suggest this amazing book called Crucial Conversations. The Balanced Boss, which is, of course, the ideal. However, most people tend to lean toward one of the other 2 styles. That's natural. But in some cases, this can become toxic. You have to do your own research because each problem is different, but understanding strategies to deal with these types of bosses is a good start. So start typing your problem into Google to see if you can come up with some strategies to improve your situation. Tip number 2, build your comfortable space. Safety is important. If you feel unsafe, you won't be able to make any moves. Your stress will increase and things will soon escalate in an uncontrolled manner. So after you have understood your situation, you have to choose 2 or 3 strategies or changes that you can implement now or as soon as possible. And then you have to remember to implement them. Not too many, as you may feel overwhelmed and forget them. This may give you a temporary sense of improvement or improved safety, giving you some time to reflect and think more strategically. Every 2 to 3 weeks, make one small change to learn the habit of caring about your personal space and developing it. If you can escape, make a strategy to escape. If you can't escape, make a strategy to expand your comfortable space over time, learning techniques that work. You can also consult a psychologist to brainstorm. Tip number 3. Nobody really cares. Around 85% of whistleblowers suffer from depression or anxiety as a direct result of their experiences. Being a whistleblower myself, I reflected on this, and my feeling is that I was in a constant unconscious worry about being judged by others as a traitor or a liar for blowing the whistle. Remember that it is your right to experience a safe environment, so treat it as the law suggests. You deserve a safe environment, so you request a safe environment. Nothing more, nothing less. In the end, even after accusing my own institution of not investigating the matter appropriately, I felt no pressure or discrimination from anyone who was not directly involved. Most of the professors I met just felt sorry for me and were somehow ashamed of what happened, or because they felt uncomfortable to stand up and intervene. So really, nobody truly judges you personally if you state your rights and demand them to be respected. Most of the time, this will be your biggest worry. Tip number 4, consult a lawyer. This is not for everybody, as some students are poor, but if you file a complaint and can ask for support from a friend of yours that study law, it's important that you do so. They may help you highlight your rights and focus on the problem. This may not result in declaring misconduct eventually, but it may raise your chances of seeing improvements in your workplace. Tip number 5. Sometimes you have only one chance. The reason it is important to consult a friend with knowledge of the law, or even better, a lawyer, is because many times the first verdict influences all following solutions. For example, a member of an ombuds organization once told me this. In the field of research integrity, we observed that if one committee issued a decision in a case, there is, unlike court cases, no superior level committee which can be addressed to potentially revise the first decision. I guess this is a problem that should be improved, but for now it is what it is. Therefore, sometimes you only have one option to have your arguments really heard. Don't rush and plan strategically with a friend or a lawyer. Let's now look at potential case scenarios you might face and how to possibly deal with them. But before, subscribe to the channel to stay updated and support me. Thank you. So, sexual harassment. My feeling is that the system has gotten much better on this front, and this is one of those few areas where your university ombudsman can actually help. Contact them, possibly a woman or a man. If you are a man, why not, and share your problem. They may not be able to declare misconduct or change the system, but they will likely ensure to find a way that makes you safe. Remember to ensure that your complaint is registered so that if someone else speaks up, records will accumulate. These records can be registered anonymously. If records accumulate, they may be able to do something at a general level in the future. Then ask your university ombudsman to gently deal with the problem, or contact the police. Discrimination and bullying. Discrimination is more difficult as there are also personal levels of perception and levels of discrimination. For example, in these Reddit posts, the user states that they continue to mention the color of the skin. In cases like this, before you start a fight, make your supervisor realize this in a non-aggressive way. Maybe they are not really aware of their behavior because it is simply part of how they grew up. For this, you will need to improve communication to create your comfortable space. So remember to check out this book. In general, however, a solution to this can be found as the problem is very clear and manageable most of the time. And like with harassment, your local ombudsman can be of help to find a solution to ensure you experience a safe environment. Or if this does not stop, consult a lawyer with a specialty in discrimination law. More general bullying is harder to stop, as the problem is often unfocused. Bullying is a repetitive pattern of acts, from sarcastic comments to overwork, meant to affect you without justification. The issue is even more pronounced, as bullying can be a career tool for mediocre academics too. In my experience, there are only two real things that you might do. One is to leave, and the second is to make a public report. In any case, you cannot solve bullying within your workplace most of the time, at least for now, and retaliation is almost certain. So, if you choose to leave, make sure to report the person to an external organization and copy your old university. Your local ombudsman will likely do nothing. Another option is the lawyer. Idea theft and authorship. You created a super idea and someone stole it. Or your boss left you out of the authors. In this case, approaching your university ombudsman can be counterproductive. Your university has an interest in avoiding a bad reputation, and hey, why should they find a misconduct for somebody that brings money to the school? In this case, you have one shot only. Apply to an impartial external body, get a lawyer if you can, and design your allegations well. So, these are some of the things I learned after my experience in reporting misconduct. However, remember that things don't finish here most of the time. For example, I ended up pursuing my original ideas independently, which yielded positive results, and I'm now publishing a book about it. So learn the tricks to withstand abusers with intelligence, and I hope you will get better soon. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe or not, you choose. Ciao!